What's up, everybody, and welcome back for another solo mining episode. And in this one, we're going to be kind of messing around again in HiSec, and I'm taking out the Porpoise and a couple of Hulks just to kind of grab some of this HiSec ore, mine quite a bit of this, and kind of hang out and talk a little bit. I'll be just compressing everything in the Hulks since I've still got heavy water in the Porpoise. So, in the fleet hangar. So until we have that stuff cleared out, or until we get close to the Hulks themselves being kind of filled up with compressed ore, we'll be kind of chill. But we've been a couple days since we've actually really done anything at volume, so I'm kind of hoping to get that accomplished today. I'm slowly maneuvering, I was maneuvering more center to the asteroid belt to try to have things kind of separated. I got one Hulk going mid-range and then one Hulk going max range here, so that just helps us not to kind of double laze any targets. But the past week or so has been pretty chill. Not a whole lot's been going on. Valorant release did not affect me all that much because I tend to be a solo player in most games, if not all games. And generally speaking, whenever you are kind of doing the unmeta or unpopular thing in a game, it takes pretty specific patches or changes to really affect you, or to affect me rather. I can imagine being a big fleet PvPer and things like that, Valorant or Valerian probably affected or stirred the pot quite a bit, but for what I'm currently doing in EVE, I am relatively unaffected. Go and get our compress window up, do a pass through that. So we kind of keep an eye on everything. But I think this setup is pretty ideal for just doing a lot of volume very quickly. We could use the mining drones here, which we might set them up just to give a little bit extra. Let's go ahead and get... I'm just going to take a bunch of stuff that's kind of close by for the Porpoise here. And we'll just kind of throw out mining drones and just have a little bit of added value. Otherwise, the fleet or the mining hold for the Porpoise will be relatively unused for the majority of this session. Oh, look, we got a bounce. And they'll get back in position here pretty shortly.
The asteroid is depleted.
We're going to have to stay on top of this compression, though. It doesn't take a whole lot for these Hulks to get full. But our value will be pretty decent once we get everything kind of set up. See a Venture on D-Scan. They're probably out there doing some stuff. We could definitely let the Porpoise mining hold go for a while. It'll take a while to fill up that 62 with drones.
The asteroid is depleted.
Not quite sure. It might be a small rock J. That's what it's starting to feel like. Got about 41 kilometer range on the Hulks, so we can't really go very top of list, but we can get a good majority of it. But otherwise, it's been pretty business as usual. I have been working a lot on the Alpha Tune, getting her standings up to the point where we can really start to fully utilize the Drake that character has. So that's been very, very time consuming. It's taken a lot out of my mining time for sure. So that's why I figured it's been a couple days since we did a mining episode. So this would be this is a combination I don't think I've actually taken out, which is Porpoise and the Hulk. So here we get this little configuration a shot. Just keeping an eye on D-scan and everything, make sure it's all good. Keeping an eye on these inventories. It's just one of those things that you have to kind of keep up on. I have gotten pretty used to just drone mining, and I don't have to be really vigilant on mining holes and stuff, but this is really the fastest way to get a large amount of ore in a relatively short amount of time. Alright, we're going to go one more cycle and then compress again. Our cycle right now on these is about 68.4 seconds, or about 26.5 cubic meters a second, which is not bad, very decent. I think eventually I'll get these alts their own Mackinaws once they get like crystal trained and stuff. That would probably be a lot more chill and everything. Do compression on them. So they've done 2 million. Let this cycle complete. So we've probably done about almost 5, maybe 6 million, depending on what the drones do. So probably almost 5 for the Hulks. And then not even, look at that. We've done like 5 with just the Hulks, and obviously we started the drones a little bit later, but that just shows how much is the drone mining is pales in comparison. We might let the drones actually fill up the ore hold here, and then we might just put them back in and kind of discontinue using them.
The asteroid is depleted.
I do want to kind of use some of this heavy water today though. But let's go and get another rock for this drone. I think it might actually be easier since we're dealing with the Hulks to just put all the drones on a single rock, so I don't have to worry about the downtime and retargeting a rock. I need to put a auto targeter on her so that we have more targets, but I just haven't. I think when we go back to Jita, I'll probably make that change. Once the fleet hangar is completely empty, we'll start moving compressed ore to the Porpoise, which won't take very long. About 3,700 in the fleet hangar right now. I think I'm just going to keep compressing as we kind of go through. Keeps me from potentially getting lasers to turn off. So we got 2.8, so almost 3, 2.2. So, and we've been mining for about 9 minutes, almost 10 minutes. Overall, I don't mind the expansion. I think it's like some pretty cool social stuff. Homefront operations is kind of gimmicky. It's all for fleet stuff. What I am interested in seeing is some positive mining changes, either in expansions coming this year or next year. Something that really significantly improves or adds to the mining experience. That's really what I'd like to see. Just more things to do. Maybe I know that they've added rare ore more recently, but I mean some like more broad, generalized overall changes to mining would be really interesting. I think that might be asking a lot, though. In my experience, almost every patch or expansion that involves mining usually is a nerf. So, in terms of wanting them to have mining stuff in a patch, it's like I'd rather, you almost want them to just keep mining out of their mines, because most of the time when they touch it, it gets nerfed. I'd say the compression though is decent. I mean, that new kind of thing took a little bit to get used to, but it was a nice change. I think I'm gonna break these. I'll break these windows out. I think it'll be faster.
The asteroid is depleted.
That way we don't have to worry about switching tabs too much. Then it's just, select all compress, and as long as they're mining the same thing, it'll update this, and we just hit the button. It's kind of something you sign up for whenever you're mining with boosted hulks. You're going to be definitely hands-on. It's going to be very, it's going to be a lot to manage and micromanage, which is fine. We're doing that because of the yield. Alright, we got target on this hulk, so I'm going to go and use its drone. Literally one rat. And done. Need some more targets though. Probably gonna start getting back into more ratting and stuff here the next week or so. Been kind of itching to take the Tengu out and raise some ISK on the ratting front. I prefer ratting in nullsec, and since I've got a character out there right now that can use a Tengu, I thought about actually just having that as I always need like some sort of activity that's kind of different from what I do in bulk, just to help keep myself from being burnt out. But also we have a ton of mining to do this month in preparations for some industry.
The asteroid is depleted.
Get new targets, get everything compressed, doing good. About 3 million there. Done about 6 in 14 minutes. I don't know how long ago. I really wanted to just kind of get out here with these and get a decent amount, since we haven't really taken the hulks out in probably a couple weeks at this point. Most of that has to do with the Mackinac and how I've really enjoyed just taking the solo Mackinac out and running just all the crystals and stuff like that, and that just has been a lot more my speed lately. But if we're gonna reach our goal, we're gonna have to do significantly more fleet mining. Oh look, the drones have done 1 million. I think I'm actually going to discontinue using these drones because It's just one thing I don't want to have to worry about right now. So we'll suck them in, and then we can just start piling the compressor here into the Porpoise to keep a good reading on our value. We should have enough space to start moving some of it with the fleet hangar. Alright, there we go. 8 million so far. Not as quick on the draw today with the mining lasers, but it's kind of the weekend and just trying to relax and not be super efficient. But almost 10 million in about 16 minutes is nice.
The asteroid is defeated.
Trying to keep everything compressed and out. I like seeing a good reading. Eventually we'll have this heavy water out of here and won't have to worry about it too much. But yeah, about 9.7 right now. The big reason why I did decide not to use the Orca today is just because I've been trying to get used to just using the Porpoise in most fleet mining situations, because I think that in the future I'm probably going to end up moving a lot of our fleet stuff like this maybe to like Null and also to like Poshvin. So just getting used to the limitations of the fleet hangar and just the limitations of the Porpoise itself is I'm just trying to daily drive it for the most part. I think the Porpoise will still always, even actually for drone mining for the most part, I've been using the Porpoise more for drone mining because my Porpoise, this one is actually rigged for drones, for drone mining. So a industrial core 2 on this Porpoise plus these drone rigs actually give me more yield than using the same core unrigged on the Orca. And the Orca uses basically is all tanked out. I use tanked rigs for that because it just makes me feel better. Which is for drone mining lately, I've been using this configuration on the Porpoise over the Orca itself. Alright, 10.8. At 20 minutes. I'm going to try to go to around the 30-minute mark, just so if anybody's wondering about how much you can do per hour, then you can just basically take whatever yield I have here at the 30-minute mark and times 2 to get a good idea. Obviously, like, a lot of variables come into play, whereas I think it'd be a pretty good idea. We're at 10.8, got 10 more minutes, so possibly 15 million, maybe, since I like to estimate all the time. Depends on how active I am on keeping these lasers on. which we're trying to do a little bit better with that. Try to get both hulks in view here. Usually I hang out in the Porpoise and I watch the lasers. Once one of the lasers go off, I can kind of know I need to do stuff. Or actually, I might go until we're actually out of fuel for the fleet hangar, which might end up lining up anyway. Another 10 minutes, we might be out of that stuff, depending. I mean, obviously you can do the math, but I'm not going to do that right now on the spot. Probably got another cycle after the one we're on, and then we'll compress and move. But for anybody wondering, I know lately I've been doing a lot of Diablo 4 content on the channel, but don't let that concern you. This series and EVE Online content will continue as normal. I'm just also doing Diablo 4 on top of everything else that I was normally doing before its release. So since we've been actually releasing a crap ton of videos in the past week or so, and a lot of that is just to try to get like a good representation for Diablo 4 content on the channel. And also it's going to kind of be the same thing for in October when City Skylines 2 comes out, and in September when Starfield come out. Well, every time we get to one of those releases, you are going to probably notice a good amount of new content that's not EVE, so that shouldn't be a concern for anybody who is here for EVE. That stuff will just be solo mining, all that stuff we do for EVE will just continue on as it goes. Alright, that's another batch at 12.5 with 8 minutes, 7 minutes pretty much to go. Don't think we'll empty out the fleet hangar of heavy water, but we'll see. Got that good old belt spar right here. Nice. Get a target up just so we don't have to worry about it later. Plenty of targets on that Hulk. We just kind of chill. We got 30, almost a little over 3,000. Trying to look at who's on higher on cycle. They're pretty much the same, so we can kind of just chill. We're doing about 5 cycles before we have to move stuff. Got that Scordite coming in now. You gotta take it all though. Look at that, got some jump raiders coming through from that adjacent low-sec system, which, you know, I've used that system for jumping rays in, but I do see a lot of jump raiders coming through here, which is pretty common in any high sec with a low adjacent. Probably go one more cycle, then do another compression run. So has anybody actually switched to the new launcher yet? I have both of them installed, but I haven't actually used the new launcher since I did the video over it. I know I kind of periodically check and see like when they start adding newer features to it, but when one thing I like with the new launcher is the fact you can like launch straight into game, so you can kind of bypass the character selection screen. But I also kind of want to like all the other things that are going into that launcher to work as well, so I want to be able to see wallet balance and transactions or whatever they end up adding before I really commit to it. right. What are we at here? 25 minutes, almost 26 minutes. We're at 14.5, so yeah, we'll be over 15 million, which is pretty good. So by those numbers, you're looking at like 30 million an hour with this setup in high sec, mining all 4 of the different types of ore. I don't think we're going to kill all the heavy water in the fleet hangar, but that's as expected. Those compress windows all like bugged out. There we go. That was weird. I've never seen that actually happen before. I am curious about, like, since this expansion was more like socially based, what the other ones they might be targeting for. I mean, it'd be great to see some like new ratting stuff as well. I think there's like a ton of different things that they could do to kind of expand exploration and ratting and all that. But I don't know. Every time a new expansion comes out, and I kind of if it has nothing to do with like kind of the gameplay loops that I'm associated with, I kind of just twiddle my thumbs and wait for my turn. All right, 15.9 at 27, so yeah. 30-ish million an hour, give or take. I'll go as I'll show you guys as much as I can. Normally when I'm doing like big high volume mining, that usually stretches across multiple hours, but I'm no longer the type of gamer that can kind of just sit and not do a whole lot, or just sit for a long period of time and not get up. I have to I like taking breaks. I like getting up and moving around, and I think that's probably why I don't end up doing like really long form stuff. Like sitting here and doing like, I mean, maybe one day we'll do like a 6-hour mining session where I just kind of do it all in one kind of take and just see what happens. But for the most part, if I'm really focusing on numbers and volume, I try to record enough to like give you guys an idea and give you guys like an episode and kind of give you some insights on how things are going and things like that. But then like once I stop recording the video, I essentially just kind of can do other things while these characters are kind of doing their thing. I'm very much kind of like center stage at this point for like the first 30 minutes, kind of commentating and things like that. So that's why, that kind of explains why I don't just like, if I'm gonna mine for 2 hours, I just don't record for 2 hours, because in most cases that would be I think that'd be really boring if I actually ended up, I mean, we did it before, but we had a goal of actually mining the whole belt out, which we did. When there's like a goal like that takes up that much time, then that kind of makes sense. But if like today, if I go out and do like 3 or 4 full belts, after the first belt, then everything else is just really repetitive, right? So I try not to make the videos longer than they have to be. I always feel like I have to kind of explain my process, but I understand that like people love kind of just watching the process for me mining and the process and everything. I think for me it's just like I'm not too clear on whether or not the commentary is important, or if it's just actually just kind of having the video in the background playing with I would love to do like really long form mining videos that I don't necessarily feel like I have to commentary the entire thing. Obviously like tidbits of, you know, information here and there, but I don't know if that's like anything of interest. I know there are people who like to have these videos up and kind of when they're mining and doing stuff. So if you could let me know in the comments kind of what your opinion is. I have thought about actually like doing some longer, like 2 or 3 hour long videos, but that commentary is not necessarily like throughout the whole thing. I don't know if that's even of interest. 31 minutes at 17, so times 2 it, and that's an hour. But I think that's going to be it for this episode, so I'm going to take a break and then I'm going to come back out here. So I'm going to go kind of show you guys what that would look like as far as break time, or if you're down spooling everything. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the industrial core, and then since that's only like 75 seconds on the Porpoise, I can go and red the burst as well. And what I'll do is I'm going to go and turn off all of this as well, the hulks, because I want to go ahead and try to get everything compressed and into the Porpoise. That way we don't have, I mean, it doesn't really matter because we're going to come back out, but I like to kind of drop all the compressed ore when we kind of go back to the station. So we'll turn all this off, and once that compressor turns off, then we're kind of stuck with stuff in the holes here. But let's do that. Go and kind of get a final number here. 18.5. Go and top off the fuel. At this point, we're just kind of waiting. I'm going to refuel or reload the burst. At this point, we're just kind of chilling, and we're just waiting. And then we can essentially get to the point where we're moving again. There we go. So that'll be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I look forward to the next one. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you want to support the channel, consider becoming a channel member. We're not that far actually away from unlocking the member recognition, which that shows up. Members will show up on like underneath videos on the watch pages and also on the main channel page. We need, I think, 2 or 3 more members to unlock that, because there is like a baseline you have to reach for. YouTube turns that on, but the contributions from the membership stuff does help with the future content. But thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.